South Carolina Juvenile Center in horrible condition. Civil rights group, they're now suing the South Carolina Department of Juvenile Justice. Let me take you to this insane and egregious offense against minors. The suit alleges nightmarish, inhumane conditions where the detained youth, who are disproportionately Black, are literally living in filth and are victims of routine violence. Let's put up one of the pictures we have, okay? The walls are covered in mold and graffiti. For example, these are recent photos taken at the Juvenile Detention Center. More than 250 children are in custody. They are disproportionately Black and from families that live below the federal poverty line, according to the suit. Let's put up a picture of the mold. Let's go to the mold, okay? It's growing out of the vents, which means you have an internal issue of mold throughout that entire building. That's what that means. It's inside of your ventilation system. These children are breathing this in. They already are still developing as human beings, okay? Toilets in the facilities are frequently stopped up for weeks, leaving human feces in the open where the children sleep, okay? You see that? What you're looking at is a child's attempt to cover up the feces by using toilet tissue so they can actually get some sleep. That's what's happening inside of this juvenile facility. So children use sheets to fill a stopped up toilet in an attempt to cover up the smell. South Carolina's juvenile detention facilities have been in and out of the spotlight since the 1960s for the same inhumane conditions and treatment. Been going on since the 60s. All right, something now needs to be done. And you can be a big part of that change by making sure this story continues to place pressure on the authorities at the juvenile facility. As reported by Insider, children detained at the South Carolina Youth Detention Center live with feces on the floor, mold on the walls, and cockroaches in their food, according to a new lawsuit filed against the state's juvenile justice agency. But worst of all, the kids who range from 13 to 19 are subjected to routine violence by other inmates or even the staff, according to the suit. First quarter 2021, there were about 25 instances of inappropriate sexual conduct and contact, with the majority at BRRC. There were a total of 178 injuries to youth at that 5 facilities during the same time period. Staff was responsible for 5 assaults, according to the lawsuit. The lawsuit, which was filed Tuesday, also alleges that the South Carolina Department of Juvenile Justice is violating the civil rights of children detained at the Broad River Road complex and 4 other state detention facilities. It also states that staff at the facilities use solitary confinement in cells with no natural light as a way to protect them from violence, which is rampant in the facilities. Now, I want you to remember, many court rulings have said solitary confinement for children, that's a no-no. All right, it's cruel and unusual for a child. Some children spend months in isolation, and there is no meaningful education or mental health services for the detained youth, according to the lawsuit, which was filed on behalf of the South Carolina Conference of the NAACP, Disability Rights South Carolina, and Justice 360. Naturally, we're going to continue to follow this story. This is horrendous. This has been going on since the 60s. And finally, there's a real lawsuit. Remember, the people they are targeting, the children they are targeting, are from families that are disenfranchised and historically marginalized. And they may feel as if they are powerless, all right? Now they have found a voice in this litigation. We are going to continue to track this to completion.